You throw over $1,000 a month into local wishing wells.
Of course, you idiot, because I'm wishing for more money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steindler.
All right, welcome back to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steindler, talking about securing your digital devices and being careful about what you download. The viral face app that's going around with everyone trying to see what they'll look like older. Just good opportunity to remind everybody that, you know, you can be your worst enemy when it comes to digital security if you're not being careful with it. Now, I want to add something to that too, Bart, and that is if you're giving information to people, find out what their digital security policy is. You know, you would be surprised that in many industries, there is a very lackadaisical approach to some of this. I give you a perfect example. I talked about this a while ago when I think last time we talked about this, but it still blows my mind to this day. I volunteered to coach my son's baseball many years ago, and they want you to fill out this background check information. And one of the things they ask for in the background check is your social security number. So I simply asked, well, where will this, you know, they just want me to hand the form in. Where's this form go? Like, who has the form? What do they do with the form? You know, that kind of thing. Well, so-and-so processes all of these. She takes the forms home. She processes them. So what it really came down to was she takes the forms home to her house, sets them on her home office desk, logs onto her computer and types the information into her computer, and then she's supposed to then shred them. Okay. Well, you know, my question was, is there somewhere I can do that online myself? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. They gave me the website. I did it myself.
Right.
Because why would I allow this intermediary who's just a volunteer, you know, and nothing against her. She's just a volunteer. I'm now trusting she doesn't lose the form with my social security number on it. I'm trusting she has a secured network at home, that she hasn't been hacked on her home computer by someone else in her house using it. And thirdly, that she's going to remember to shred the form after she's done using it. Those are a lot of things you're trusting someone who's not doing that as a job to be able to do.
Yeah, and what if somebody breaks into her house and
Exactly.
they're going through and they see this form, all these forms with that information on them, they just scoop them up and take them.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about USA Today had a good article the other day. They were talking about the self-employed and how to save for retirement. And I will say that Paycheck's recent survey, I would say probably lines up a lot with individuals who come in to see us who are business owners. And they found that 30% of small business owners felt somewhat confident they will be financially ready to retire at some point. 3/4 of those surveyed said they simply have not been able to save what they feel they should have saved to be in this position. And I'll go a step further and say a lot of small business owners count on selling their business as a key component of being able to retire. And I think we see it all the time when stores close, restaurants go out of business. Sometimes the realization of quote unquote selling it for retirement just doesn't materialize. It just doesn't become something that has the value to someone else that it has maybe to you.
Right. I was talking with a woman about 6 months ago, and I was actually going to buy something in her store. And she told me that she's going to close up the store and retire. And I said, well, why don't you sell the store? And she goes, well, it really has no value to anybody else except me. She goes, I can't find somebody who wants to work this store full time, which is what you have to do in order to earn the kind of income that I earn here. So, I'm just going to sell out the inventory, shut the doors, and quit paying rent. So I don't think it was part of her plan that store was going to provide for her retirement. However, if you are planning for your business, the sale of your business to finance your retirement, you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. That's kind of like buying all of one stock and saying that stock, whatever happens with that stock, that's going to determine what my retirement is. It's not a very diversified structure. So you may want to look at ways along the way that you can take some money out of that business and put it into another vehicle so that you have a diversified group of investments that can help fund your retirement when the time comes.
Especially small businesses, especially if you're like in the retail space. I mean, trends change, things change. Something that's very profitable for you today could be completely non-existent 30 years from now. I think about, this is kind of a funny example, but I think it's an important one, right? Waterbed stores. If you think about waterbed stores in the 80s and 90s, I mean, there were multitudes of them in every city.
And they were printing money.
I mean, I knew everybody I knew had a waterbed, right? Mm-hmm. You couldn't find somebody that owns a waterbed today, you know, and you surely can't find a store to buy one at, you know. So if your retirement plan was in 30 years, I'm going to sell my very profitable waterbed store, that probably didn't work out so well.
It reminds me of a Rodney Dangerfield joke, and he said that his wife was so frigid that her side of the waterbed was frozen.
But you know, I mean, it's like in like internet cafes. You could have set up an internet cafe 15 years ago, and it would have seemed like a great idea. People were coming in, getting on the internet. You know, you were getting paid by the minute or the half hour. I can take my $300 cheap laptop to Starbucks and accomplish the same goal. You just don't see them around much anymore. Or arcades. Look how many arcades were around 20 years ago. They don't even exist hardly today.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of examples of the stores that you used to go to rent movies, to play in your video, to play on your VCR at home, you know, and all that stuff is downloadable now. And you see it with some very, you know, big major chains too. I mean, a lot of home furnishings in that. Mm-hmm. There's a company out there that advertises on TV all the time, and you can go and buy your home furnishings there, and that's affecting stores like
any of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. There's one big major one. The name of it just escaped me, but it's one you go into and they have all sorts of tables and dishware and all that kind of stuff.
But I mean, I think that and that could be something that even starts to challenge service industries down the road, right?
Sure.
You know, you might have had a very profitable taxi cab company. Uber just disrupted that pretty effectively. You know, we could see things like, you know, even as computer technology has advanced, we see a lot more legal work being done through websites. I don't think it's a great idea, but people do it. You can file your own taxes many times. Again, I don't think that's a great idea, but you can do it. So just, you know, hanging your hat on this one thing can be very dangerous. So what do? Just like every other person out there, the small business owner has to make paying themselves a priority over just about everything else. You would never miss your tax payments. Well, you shouldn't miss your tax payments. You would never miss your rent payment. You wouldn't stop paying your employees. Those are all core parts of running a business. Investing for your future should be right in there. When you're drawing up your business plan, when you're looking at your P&L, when you're looking at your cash flow, putting away 10, 12, 15% for yourself has to be part of that equation, or you're doing it wrong.
Right. And you got to wonder, is it worth the effort I'm putting into this business if I'm not making enough that I can take 10 or 15% and put it away to provide for myself in the future? Mm-hmm. And if you can't, the question has to be, how am I going to provide for myself in the future? Mm-hmm. Because there's got to be something there. Whatever you're doing, you're not going to be able to do it for your entire life.
Well, you know, Bart, it almost comes back to what we were talking about with collectible cars earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
You might run a business that you have to be honest with yourself is not doing what it needs to do. You might love what you do, but you might have to have a real strong look in the mirror and say, if I'm not able to put away for my retirement, is this really what I should be doing for the next 25 years? Because maybe it's not.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not. It might be working right now. You can pay your bills, but everyone's going to reach 65 to 70 at some point in their life. And when they do, if there's no money there, it's going to be pretty miserable.
Yeah. And maybe the decision is not, I have to quit doing this because I can't earn enough money for my retirement. But maybe the decision is I have to change the way that I'm doing this. I have to make some changes inside my business. I have to seek some advice on how to make this business more profitable. And then you would be able to take those, put those actionable items in place to generate more money so that you can put more away. It's not necessarily, I gotta quit this business and do something else. Maybe that's the answer, but it takes some soul searching, some fact finding, and some digging to figure out. But you got to figure it out.
Well, and I think that's the key, right? You have to look at all facets of it. What does your spouse do? Does your spouse have a pension? Is your spouse maxing out their 401k? What are your other alternatives? Another thing that has to be considered is many times business owners do not have as much going into Social Security savings because they have a lot of deductions. They have a lot of write-offs. So at the end of the day, they're not contributing as much, which means their Social Security payout down the road is going to be much less too. So if you don't have, a secondary vehicle there that you're creating wealth in, you really could put yourself in some harm's way. There could be some real jeopardy there. And proper insurances, we talk about people don't retire all the time because they want to. Well, for a small business owner, it's even more important. If you're a landscaper and you own a large landscaping company and you do all of the design work, so you're on your feet 8 hours a day looking at people's yards and stuff, and you throw your back out or you have a heart attack or something like that, your business could literally fold because you're not capable of running it. Making sure you have proper insurances in place to protect yourself there is very important as well.
That's right. And people think when they think about insurances for protection, they think about life insurance, but a lot of times they don't think about having some sort of disability policy. And there's many of them out there, and we're not going to talk about all the different kinds of disability policies that are available, but you need to get educated on that, and you need to understand that you're probably 5 times more likely to become disabled than you are to have a premature death.
At the end of the day, as a business owner, you probably need to do more planning than the person who goes and does a 9 to 5 and has some of that planning kind of already done for them just by design. If you haven't done the type of planning necessary to make sure you're ready for your retirement, we work with a lot of small business owners, and we'd love to sit down and give you a hand. Give us a call, 888-98-MONEY. That's 888-986-6639. All right, coming up, I'm going to have Vonnie Woodrick in to talk about I Understand, one of our charity beneficiaries for our upcoming golf outing, which is next Thursday, July 25th, right here on the Keep Your Money Show.
It's never too late to plan for your future, and the Keeping Your Money Show can help. Our team of advisors can answer questions you may have about investing your money. Through Securities America, Inc., our advisors offer a diversified and comprehensive list of quality products and services. Call the Keeping Your Money Show at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free consultation.